listeners. You have tuned into Kaleidoscope, and on today's show, we have a wonderful water crusader, Miss Shailaja Deshpande, the founder and director of Jeevitnadi Living River Foundation. The Jeevitnadi Foundation was the recipient of the Green Hero Award from the Energy and Resources Institute in 2017. Shailaja ji, welcome to the show. The rivers of this nation love you.
Thank you, Karishma, and hello, everyone.
When I met Shailaja ji on National Water Conservation Day, Shailaja ji asked me a question that got me dumbfounded. She asked, "Do you even know from which river in Pune you are receiving the water in your home?" I pleaded guilty for this basic lack of awareness. So today on Kaleidoscope, I'm requesting Shailaja ji to enlighten us on the journey of water in our lovely city, Pune.
Yes, I did ask this question to Karishma, that the simplest journey of water to water, most of us, we don't know. When we started our journey as Jeevitnadi as an organization, while taking the river walks along the river, which we usually do it throughout the year, that time I used to ask the same question to the people, and they used to answer me, no.
They felt silly like me.
Yes. I said, you don't even know how the water comes to you and from which river, if it is a river. So the blank answer used to be river.
River.
But which river? We don't know.
Just
the
a
name.
generic answer.
Yes, absolutely. It's a generic answer. How does it reach your place or your home? Again, no answer. If it is a potable water, what are the parameters for this potable water? When you convert the normal water to a potable water, there are some treatment processes which go through, and then it reaches your homes through those water filter tanks which are there into the city at different places. If I don't know the water parameters and I am doing this blindly and blankly, so my easiest way is to put some sort of a water filter which has been advertised elaborately on the TVs or
very commercial,
newspaper, very commercial ones, and make myself, satisfied. Oh, the water which I get is pure and good.
That is a perspective followed by many these days.
Yes.
Convenient perspective.
And we never want to understand where the water is coming from, how it is coming from, and how it is polluting the environment. Oh. Because the water, at least one thing commonly we all know, that the water gets stored into the dams and it goes into the filtration plants.
Yes.
What is used in the filtration plants? Very few people know that. The science community probably knows that they use the alum, then they use chlorine, and they also use lime. Now, when you are talking about alum and lime, it's a mining pollution, because unless and until you mine it, it's not going to happen. Mines are directly related into the source region of the rivers, where you are polluting at the source itself.
Oh my God.
Then the chlorination. The chlorine has been found very, very dangerous to human health, because it has 6 types of trihalomethanes which are carcinogenic. So, why we are using the conventional methods and not creating some appropriate technology so that we reduce the mine pollution and also have a good water quality which we receive at home?
That is brilliant. You have also been a proponent of toxin-free lifestyle.
Yes.
Please throw some light on that.
Yes. So here I have talked about the journey which reaches the water to your own homes. Now I'm talking about the water which goes out of my home.
Through the drain, you mean?
Yes, okay. Through the drain, which goes as a wastewater, which is a grey water. Most of it is a grey water, because you have 2 types of water in your own homes. One is black water, which is through the natural phenomena. Either you flush it, or it's in the kitchen to clean the vegetables, or there is a food waste and things like that, which is organic. But in the bathroom, you use right from your toothpaste till the end of the day, number of chemicals are all man-made chemicals.
Yes.
Water is a universal solvent. When you use man-made chemicals, nature does not know how to treat them. There is a huge science behind it. The retired senior scientist Dr. Pramod Moghe actually introduced this to us, this information,
Okay.
that every human being uses minimum 40 grams of chemicals through your routine.
In one circadian day?
Yes, in one day, right from your toothpaste, your soaps, your cleaners, your detergents, whatever you're using, 40 grams, and the compounds are more than 125 grams. So, multiple compounds which are making this grey water, which goes into the sewage treatment plants, the sewage treatment plants cannot treat these grey waters. So, from your own home, can you clean the river? By shifting to our ancestors' knowledge, which has been there for generations together to use the nature. Use as much as biodegradable and natural products, which will also consume. Because if I use, instead of toothpaste, I'm just throwing an example, I use a Dantamanjan.
Huh.
Now, Dantamanjan has a amla.
Yes.
It has hirida. Hirida means gums, which will strengthen your gums.
So many benefits.
So many benefits. There is some sort of a rock salt which is added. Then there is cloves. So think of
And
those
it's organic.
Yes, it's
And
organic.
the impact on the planet is also organic.
Absolutely. And look at that. If I'm using cloves, if I'm using amla, if I'm using hirida, so these are the plants which we can grow.
Not man-made chemicals, like you said.
Yes,
Isn't it?
exactly. So I am consuming for my personal hygiene or domestic cleaning
Yes.
some products which are coming from the nature. And that makes more sense.
Biodegradable.
Absolutely. They are also scientific because you are part of nature.
Absolutely.
All those man-made chemicals are definitely impacting you some way or the other because of their toxicity into those products, which again we have no knowledge what type of chemicals are going into those products. So the known things which we already know can be used, which because they have been used by the ancient times, been proven.
Ma'am, don't you think all this awareness, all this knowledge should be given at elementary level to children at school?
Absolutely, and that is where I'm talking about the journey, that the simplest thing, this is a general science, the journey of
Basics of life.
to water is the basics of life, and no schools, no curriculum has this inculcated these things. It has a geography, it has a history, it has a science.
We need to have a lifestyle science.
Yes.
Integrated in our educational
Absolutely.
system. I remember that once upon a time, Pune had 7 rivers, but they were covered with soil so that we could make land available for housing. So, when I heard about Jeevitnadi, the flashback dots got all connected. I'd like to request you to enlighten us about your vision, please.
Thanks, Karishma, first of all. But let me bring you back about the last 7 rivers you mentioned about.
Yes, please.
Urbanization actually takes a toll on every land or every resource which is available. But at the same time, rather than pondering over what has been lost, can we think about what is present and how do we conserve
Beautiful.
it? So that's how the participatory efforts, volunteering, bringing the community to the rivers, basically because we work on the urban rivers. So our main focus is bringing people closer to the rivers. When you look at the state of the rivers, that is the most important way to go about it. Unless and until community comes closer, understands the pains, understands the issues which the rivers are facing currently, people's participation is the key for revival of any resource. If you are talking about the urban rivers,
Why I specifically mentioned the urban rivers is because the urban population, very sadly, doesn't feel that the availability of water is a concern even. They don't even think it's a cause for concern.
yes.
So,
Probably this is with some people who are getting a continuous or water supply which is as per their
uninterrupted.
uninterrupted. But at the same time, we are also the biggest polluters of our all resources. The urbans need to be made aware about it. See, the river has not changed. She has been flowing eternal years.
Agree.
Lakhs and crores of years, we have changed her form by building dams. That is the first intervention which we as citizens did. River is a flow of life, and the first flow is blocked by our dams. And then the interventions as per the requirement, the bridges on the rivers, there are a lot of sewage treatment plants on the river. So what you do is actually intervening in a pristine natural resource. So this needs to be understood, which urban people do not realize, because we get, when you open the tap, it's the same river which is coming to your own house, your own home. The same water is reaching through taps. If you don't get that tap water, you make a call, ask for a tanker. If you don't get a tanker, you bore into the ground.
Yes.
And you take water.
But like Dalvi sir said, when you request for a tanker, the diesel costs and other hidden costs, all those also affect.
Yes.
Isn't it?
The cost, and most importantly, water is interconnected with everything. You cannot separate out the surface water and groundwater because it's the interface. You intervene into any one thing, the other water resource is going to get impacted.
Okay.
So unless until we have that overview of, rejuvenating these water resources, and rather than thinking as an alternative that if I don't get a tap water, I buy the tanker. No, it is, everything is supported with each other. So you must have a surface water, you should also enrich the groundwater, and there are connecting dots which Gunman mentioned about water harvesting.
So it's a domino effect, really, isn't it? One action leads to so many pitfalls,
Absolutely.
Is it right to say that we need to reduce our water footprint somehow, each day, consciously?
We have to. Means water footprint is, yes, the key. But how do you measure the water footprint?
Please tell us.
See, if you see the river which is flowing, as I said, that Mutha river originates from 60 to 65 kilometers away, west of Pune. The origin of Mutha has different issues and problems about the water. Rest of the 8 months, these people are water scarce, where during monsoon they have heaviest rainfalls. Unless or until there is a heavier rainfall, the catchment area will not get water.
Did you say 8 months there's a scarcity?
Yes, immediately after the monsoon, they are water scarce. Remember, this is one common resource, which is the Mutha, which is flowing. It meets Mula at the confluence, then it goes, meets Bhima, and there is a Ujni dam. So the Ujni gets all polluted water. So whatever we are doing with the resource is actually impacting either into the downstream area or in the source region. So it's an interconnection of everything.
Someone who is helping us, probably, in all probabilities, someone who's helping us to clear this water pollution, as per a marine biologist, is that the marine algae and a certain type of bacteria have started eating plastic in the water. So my question to you, Shailaja ma'am, is what is the role of science and scientists in river revival as per the projects taken over by Jeevitnadi?
Oh, Karishma,
you are loving this question. I can see it on your face.
Yes, it's absolutely such a wonderful question, because science is the key to understand the ecosystem of the river. Science is the key where you want to have, or you need to have, a hydrogeologist where the surface water and subsurface water, what is the interface between the surface water and subsurface water when you have to manage the water. Science is the key where the natural ecosystems have to be
that understanding,
conserved, protected and rejuvenated. Because the way you mentioned about the marine system, there is a freshwater system where we call it as a riparian zone. Along the river bank, the riparian zones are the specific species of flora and aquatic species of fauna, which have an interaction with each other, because soil and water cannot be separated. They get emulsified. Yes, it has to be. Otherwise, it's like for a river, you cannot create a canal. Currently, all over the world, this riverfront development things are going on, which are actually
Detrimental.
separating away the interface of the water with the soil. And it is also disturbing the natural ecosystems. As I said, there are 4 types of flows. One which is a linear flow which goes by the gravity. Another which is a lateral flow which spreads around. So if the river is flowing, it has to spread into the soil. So the soil moisture can take the water in,
Soak in.
and infiltrate inside. And then there is a vertical flow where the recharging of the groundwater, which Shashikant Dalvi sir and Gunwant has been saying about it. So these are the vertical flows, and if you balance and conserve all this, the science is required how to manage these flows. Then only the hydrological cycle, which we learnt into school, but it has been learned
Elementary.
like a hydrological cycle. What it contains, it's the flows which we have to manage and which needs science. It needs flora, it needs fauna, it needs soil, and water is a connection, like a nervous system's backbone, which is connecting all these systems.
I think somewhere we've forgotten that the water cycle and the life cycle are nothing but one.
Yeah.
They are a one system. They are not
Yes.
2 separate systems,
True.
isn't it? But like you said, we can't just sit in one place and expect the government to do everything, isn't it? So please tell us, what exactly can be done to handle this water crisis? I mean, I'm talking about system, government level, community level, and then, of course, finally at the individual level.
Yeah. Karishma, this is a very good question, because I'm finding this as an opportunity to,
Convey to our listeners.
Convey to our listeners. Yes, in one sentence, I can say, whether it's a river or water, it's my river, my responsibility. And every community, if whatever tap water or bore water or any water which we are drinking, we are responsible for every drop of water we are drinking, we are utilizing.
Absolutely.
And then we have to think about, when you create a wastewater, how do I make every use from consume to conserve? So
Beautiful.
by using more and more biodegradable and natural products, forgetting little bit now ease of use and matter of conveniences, and all these terminologies have to be now stopped, reduced, and we need to work on how can we conserve.
Consume to conserve has to be the mantra.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shailaja ma'am. That was so insightful. This is Karishma signing off for Kaleidoscope. Thank you, listeners. Bye-bye.